Saracens, for the first time in 3 months, have their club captain back at the helm. Alistair Hargreaves has been missing with injury, but restored today at lock alongside Jim Hamilton. Rhodes and Berger return to the back row, and at scrum half, Ben Spencer gets a run out. A huge talent, and some more game time for him this season at 9. The rest of the backs remain intact, barring Marcelo Bosch, normally deployed at centre, but today a first start at fullback for Saracens. He's done the job there for Biarritz in the past. Headlines at Wasps this week, hogged by one family. Charles Piutau back wearing number 15, which will please Dai Young enormously, no doubt. And what is better than one Piutau? Two Piutaus. Brother Siale lines up at inside centre for a first start for the club. This is the first time they played a professional match alongside each other, the brothers. Dan Robson's at 9, paired with Jimmy Gopperth. Rory Jackson named initially, but a late Scottish call-up for him. Up front, Johnson at hooker, Kernan Mile with James Cannon at lock, following news this week that James Gaskell is likely to be out for the season. George Smith, the skipper, on the open side. A bright day, rather a biting wind out there, which may play its part. Seems to be at Saracens' back in this opening half. Ashley Johnson in there, restored to the starting lineup. His first start for 6 weeks at hooker. Dan Robson getting a run of games in the absence of our guest today, Joe Simpson. And Bosch just overrunning that a tiny bit.
It's definitely going to be a tactic, isn't it? Bosch is an experienced player, intelligent player, but 15 is probably the most difficult position to play on the field in terms of position. Finding out where you're going to start, where you end up, timing onto the ball. You saw there Wade giving his eyes on the ball, making it a 50-50. They'll try and do that as much as they can today, Wasps.
He's a quality footballer, we know that much. Marcelo Bosch always seems to have time on the ball, but a limited amount of time with the 15 on his back. He did it for Biarritz, hasn't ever done it for Argentina. Ransom on the bench today, and I think the kicking option certainly at the heart of that decision. Bosch able to offer huge distance, of course, with his clearances to go with the long-range goal kicking as well. But I think a calmness and a composure probably too, which is key. Ben Ransom still very much a developing player.
Yeah, Ben Ransom's done well the last 2 weeks. He started 2 games in a row, and such of the strength and depth Saracens have, they can bring in Argentinian international at fullback where he hasn't played for a while.
Got to be really careful on this side of the field, guys, because the chip kick is always on in behind here, particularly with your scrum half on the far side. Jolly Hodgson likes it as well.
Ross making a good fist of that scrummage and driving the ball deep inside the Sarries 22. Wade is there, just the man Saracens would not want to be seeing in the rear-view mirror. Robson, Piutau keeps it alive nicely. Daly on the outside arc, just a metre short. One more pass would have done it. Maybe it still will do it. Charles Piutau, what a start from Wasps. Such good pressure and slick handling, keeping that ball alive, changing the point of attack, keeping Saracens guessing. 5 points to reward.
What a kick chase from Wade. Robson just puts a lovely little grubber through, and that's exactly who you want to end it. Christian Wade with his pace gathers it well. At one stage I thought Daly had butchered it by not passing it out. They had numbers wide. Wasps do well to recycle the ball and move it out for the try. Good score from Wasps.
Yeah, if ever a centre had everything crossed, it was Elliot Daly. He had 4 guys outside him, went for himself on the outside arc, didn't quite get there, managed to recycle it. But 2 great pieces of play by the Piutau brothers, one finishing, the other creating it with that little pull-back pass.
Jimmy Gopperth on kicking duty. Late inclusion to the 15 today. Rory Jackson initially penciled in. He's going to fly wide, but Jackson required by the Scots yesterday, and of course played a fairly pivotal role with Stuart Hogg going off rather too early for his liking in the Six Nations. Charles Piutau has notched up the first try of the game. Just about the ideal platform for Dai Young's men. You know you've got to try to get in front of Saracens. They are very tough front runners. Bosch. Spencer. Ritz. The ball stripped by Simon McIntyre. Really strong work by the Wasps loose head. Smith. Gorpeth sends it wide for Daly. There's more space out here. Piutau with Bassett on the outside, and Bassett has plenty of pace. One-on-one with Bosch. Oh, that was loose from Bosch. The ball kept alive. And another try to add to the Wasps tally through Thomas Young, carving Saracens to ribbons.
What an incredible start from Wasps. Bassett does it so well on the outside, stepping back to the support. But was that final pass forward or was it backwards? I'm surprised they haven't gone and looked at it.
Excellent turnover from McIntyre there. Doesn't even jackal it, just strips it in the tackle, holds onto it, and then turnover ball. Wasps do exactly what they need to do. They move the ball wide. Good hands from Smith. Gupforth flat pass, puts Piutau away. Straightens well, finds his man Bassett. And then Bassett does well there to straighten, offload out of the tackle. Good support play from Wasps.
And this time, Gopperth makes absolutely sure. 5 minutes on the clock. Wasps storming into a 12-point lead. And the director of rugby's son is on the score sheet. Bassett with a lovely step. That was not perhaps Bosch's finest moment defensively. And Thomas Young doing what every good flanker should do, making sure he was there on the shoulder in support. What an opening. What an opening. Kernan Mile claiming the restart. Very tidy inside their 22 and immediately looking to put width on the ball through Gopperth and Piutau, who's been out for the last 3 Premiership games with hamstring trouble, making an immediate impact. Smith wrestles his way up to the 10-metre line. And Nathan Hughes busting through. Really good continuity here from Wasps because they're making headway upfield, hitting the line at pace all the time. Wade on the outside this time, stretching Saracens left and right. And Saracen supporters calling for a little bit of obstruction there as Wade danced his way into the traffic. Magical burst up the middle. James Cannon driving up towards the 22.
Ball had to go wide there. Young's was outside him again. And Piutau.
Cooper Woolley, all Wasps in this opening spell against the wind. Mile, head down into Barrett. Into the short side they go again. Smith, little show from Smith, and he's through the gap. And again, Robson's on the shoulder. Support work, quite magnificent. Where has the Saracens' defence gone? Wasps are having a field day. 3 tries in 7.5 minutes. Rampant.
That was excellent play from Wasps. Yet again, this is the dream start for them. 3 tries. Cannon went through. He should have passed a little offload or a pass through. They probably would have finished it earlier. But they remain calm. They recycle the ball well again. As we see Cannon go through here, opens up his long legs. Little pass needed to go there to his left. Slow ball, but that doesn't faze them. Good decision from Dan Robson to go on the short side, and then George Smith, little show and go, breaks the line. Dan Robson on his shoulder. Superb score.
Goodness. A 19-point lead inside 8 minutes for the visitors. This the toughest of places to come. As we mentioned before, just 4 defeats here at Allianz Park in a little over 3 years for Saracens.
Well, Craig was asking how you beat Sarries here. It's quite simple. What you do is you score 19 points in the first 8 minutes and it gives you a really good chance.
It's terrific work. Great support running from Robson.
Back in, Charlie, please.
Noticeable, isn't it, Nick? The way they're hitting the ball at pace and they're powering through the game line and just seeing the benefit to almost every phase. Wade gathers it in. Good to see him back on the playing field once more. Nathan Hughes. Sarries, of course, came from 13 points down against Bath. This an altogether different prospect, and Wasps, you sense, a much more resilient outfit from Bath are currently suffering from lack of confidence, a lack of victories. Not so the opposition today. So remarkably, as we approach the 10-minute mark, Sarries have had the ball for all of 15 seconds. Daly. Plenty of spaces opening up. Saracens have conceded 10 tries in their 11 fixtures as Petrus du Plessis moves forward and then loses the ball. So they had the advantage from the knock-on. So 10 tries conceded, Austin. They've already conceded 3 in 9.5 minutes. Yeah,
strange really. It's all down to their defensive structure. Normally it's absolutely robust. It's very difficult to break down. But as we saw from the previous try, it's all about getting your guard in position early. If you see big Jim Hamilton here highlighted on the right side, he's in a great position, but he decides to change sides and move to the left-hand side. That isolates Barrington then, leaves the gap too big. Smith sees that, goes through, makes the break. Great support play as well, and a lovely finish. But very simply, Saracens aren't defending how they normally do. They're not getting their guard and their bodyguard, their first two defenders in position early to allow their line speed to dominate the opposition. Now we're seeing Wasps run really hard at them and dominate them.
They're the bare facts. Statistics on try concession. Still at the top of the tree, and now with a penalty, which is in front of the post. Wind behind them. Hodgson should fancy this to at least notch up something on the scoreboard.
Simon McIntyre there just losing his footing, coming in on a slight angle. Petrus du Plessis putting real pressure on him there. You can see the weight of Rhodes adding through there. Good body position. Du Plessis just squeezes him. McIntyre looks uncomfortable there as he ends up going down.
%92 possession for Wasps. Extraordinary. Well, Charlie Hodgson keeping up his end of the bargain. Something to work with for Saracens. 19 points to 3. Right up against it already. Should be mentioning really that extraordinary record that Hodgson has, particularly against Wasps. That's the most points by any single man against a club. 267 of Hodgson's Premiership points have come against Wasps. They would be very grateful if he could guide them home from this rather perilous position, but so much rugby still to be played. Spencer finds Hodgson. Wade watches this carefully, swirling in the wind. Gopeth took his eye off that. It's gone backwards, says Ian Tempest. Johnson. And again, space on the outside. If they could have worked it, Siale Piutau couldn't hang on to it this time.
Johnson just puts a little bit too much on it there. The space was out wide. The big hooker did well to spot it. Just execution on the pass there.
Scrum. Sorry. Alistair's not on me. Line out, thank you, line out.
Piutau.
On the line.
Signed by Wasps after a spell in Japan. He's also had Super Rugby experience with the Highlanders and the Chiefs. Played a full part in Tonga's Rugby World Cup campaign. Away by Hargreaves. Tompkins on the burst. And the ball is loose and Robson's on top of it. And chasing through, Hodgson drops on it. Robson is there to meet him. And Spencer comes to the rescue. with a very fine kick. That is a magnificent kick from Ben Spencer.
Ben Spencer's had a fantastic season so far when he's played. He's behind two quality nines in Wigglesworth and Ducott, but whenever he gets his opportunity, he's taken it.
That's where you are, please. How many?
It was looking like trouble at this point, particularly because the numbers were arriving from Wasps, and Sarries ultimately did well to shovel that back. And Spencer found great distance.
In the air.
Interference aerially.
There's minimal contact in the air, but you just can't get away with anything now. Actually, you should see Hargreaves. He puts his arms up to prove he's not touching him, and he's just landing. But any sort of contact now, the refs are so hot on it.
Very tight on that at the moment, Nick, aren't they? Something that perhaps we'll talk about in a moment or two as we see Wiles gathering in the kick, and Brits is off on another of his little excursions. Spencer to Hargreaves. Familiar routine as they work the touchline. Gorpuff chasing in, dislodged because Berger was right in his eye line. Wade picks up and sets off, but the knock-on has been awarded. Austin.
Well, just looking, we spoke earlier about Saracens' defence and their numbers and their structure, but they're really short on numbers on numerous occasions. Here's a prime example. Look at that blind side. Only 3 defenders in that wide area. That means they all have to step in from the outside. Wasps have seen this all the way through the game, and they've tried it on numerous occasions, throwing that pass over the top to the outside. Pietau's flatter there. He goes down the channel, and they've got another opportunity to score a try. It's very unlike Saracens.
Paul Gustard, of course, has moved on.
Everyone's going to say that, aren't they?
Crouch.
They've conceded more tries since he's announced he's going to England and moved on. But surely your defence can't change that much in that short period of time with one guy leaving. It's coincidental?
Well, it's a question, isn't it? It's a valid question. Alex Sanderson, the man in charge of the defence now in Gustard's absence, but they've drawn the penalty from the scrummage.
Great scrum from Saracens there. They've got one of the best scrums in the league, second to Sale. They're really making that pressure tell now.
Hodgson drives home the advantage.
See there, Johnson just pops out. You can see Brits and Duplessis just pinstering there. The angles of their body just popping Johnson out the top of the scrum. Whilst they're moving forward, the referee was always going to award them the penalty.
So pressure in a meaningful part of the pitch for Saracens. Jim Hamilton securing the ball. First visit to the 22, but the counter drive is a decent one from Wasps. And they've won the ball.
It's a maul and he's always bound in. It's a maul, he is always bound in.
Collapsed maul there. George Smith has to be careful. He just picked up a leg as he went to hit the maul and drive forwards. Another thing the referees are really hot on at the moment. We saw one yesterday in the International. You cannot pick up the leg, you just have to hit it with the shoulder and keep driving.
Let's go, big scrum, Para. Let's go, big scrum now, come on.
There's the lift.
Let's go first, let's go. Rosie, I've got the break, eh? Crouch. Bind. Set. Let's go. Same again, boys, same again. Square stationary platform before the ball.
Well, we can't grumble about the surface.
Here we go then, here we go.
Wind seems to have stiffened up a good bit as well. Might be able to tell from Ashley Johnson's hair.
And mine, it's just gone over the stand.
I know, we're going to have to send somebody to get that.
Bind. Set.
But it will concern Sarries, particularly as they got it out their back. Very difficult to get field position.
The penalty this time is Wasps.
One.
Looks like he's taken exception to Richard Barrington's wheeling of the scrum on the loose head.
Saw the strength of it there. Gopeth gave it everything, and he only just made the 10-metre line. Saracens have to get on the scoreboard, do it quickly, at least turn around close to parity at half-time, otherwise so difficult to get anywhere into the Wasps half in the second half.
Open. Jack, please open. Jack, please open the gap on the line.
And that's only half the story.
Thanks.
I think I put half too many times into that paragraph.
In 5.
Smith breaks away. Robson, Wade, Gopeth straightens up. And he's still going.
Tackle!
Berger trying to hold him up in the choke tackle. Nathan Hughes coming hammering forwards. Really struck by the way the Wasps attackers are advancing onto the ball at pace. Little dab through hasn't worked, and Berger is in control of it, and Spencer nudges it through. Daly. Again, you can see the ball being held up in the breeze. No distance on that at all, and that's from Elliot Daly, who, as we know, has a siege gun of a boot.
Little breakout there from the maul from Wasps. They did a lot using George Smith as that sort of first receiver. He breaks out himself, and because he is such a skillful guy, he's played 12 before out in Japan, you can use him as an extra 10 there to just pick a pass or carry himself. It's a tactic Wasps use a lot.
Direction from Brits, that's not one of Spencer's best. Very well controlled though by Tompkins, who was cool and calm and rather measured under pressure there. And Sarries whipping it wide for Wiles, and just enough defensive cover.
Lovely hands to the outside channel, first from Charlie Hodgson, then they ship it on one more.
Busy mark.
It's a forward pass that along the floor, and I'm surprised they didn't go back for it, but Tompkins reacts really well. They get round the corner, and then it's great defence for Wasps to stop him.
Brendan Mile gathers it in. McIntyre trying to buy an extra metre or so for the clearance of Robson, giving himself a little bit of extra space. And Robson's done well. That's a good clearance from the try line.
Charlie, don't come up early. Don't advance early.
Replacement for Joe Simpson. We've spoken about it. It's a fair bit on BT Sport this season, but all the same kind of attributes. Terrier-like at the base, good kicking game, lots of speed. This the handling from Sarries, which freed up Wiles. Become indispensable to Sarries, isn't he, Chris Wiles? Chris Ashton at the moment, remember, with the suspension. Spencer feeding Barrett. Gopeth holding him up. Brits. Sarries just beginning to get a little bit of a purchase on this game now. Rhodes hammering into midfield, taken down by Piutau to the short side, and Bosch. And Smith recognising that he had to release. Rhodes again. Spencer, Hodgson. Burst from Vunisa. And again, quick handling, absolutely key here from Sarries, and Wiles again looking to bounce off the defenders. He's worked very hard to stay in field there. Pressure building on Wasps. And Sally Piutau thinks he's stolen the ball. The penalty has gone the way of the home side as Wasps fail to stay on their feet.
Not like a harsh penalty, but it may have balanced itself out for what could have been a slight tip. No, it's not that bad, is it? More of a throw.
Thanks. On the line.
So points required. Stating the bleeding obvious, of course, but 19 points to 3 down with the strength of this win behind them. They've got to have something to show for it, Saracens. When the half-time whistle blows, this is as good a chance as any.
Gone for a 6+1 drive.
Looking nicely set. Samu Vanisa at the heart of that with his hands on the ball, and Sarries heading up to the line and crashing over the line for the score. Finally, they've got their just rewards rocked in the opening 10 minutes. There's the response, or the start of it at least.
Just brute strength from the Saracens, Pat, there. They didn't start the maul that well. They weren't set that well. Hargreaves was high, Rhodes was high, Hamilton was high. They needed the backs to come and join in. You see there, Jim Hamilton up high. Brits comes late, Brad Barrett comes in. He's not shy for a maul there, and then they start recycling, and once they get a little roll on there, Wasps are done. Leg drive there as Tompkins joins from the back, and Brad Barrett will enjoy that score.
Well, Barrett actually didn't have the ball in his hand as he went over the line. I think Venusin might be the man who scored that. So let's take a look at this conversion from Charlie Hodgson, and we'll talk to Alex Sanderson of Saracens. Nicely measured by Hodgson. What else would we expect? 19 points to 10 now, the deficit for Saracens. So, Alex Sanderson, what are you making of this? An explosive start by the opposition today.
Yeah, and obviously massively disappointing to start the game in such a vein, particularly as a new role as defence coach. So there's a few things to sort out, which we have sorted out. You know, Simpson spoke pre-game about taking away our line speed, and you can see them playing down the blind side quite a lot, playing with some good width. And then we weren't our usual clinical selves when it came to the set piece from that scrum, which gave them easy field position from the off. Thereafter, we've started to muscle up a little bit more, win some more of those collisions, and looking more like the side that they're used to watching at home.
Alex, messages that you've got on from the touchline, or the players solving this conundrum for themselves?
Yeah, I mean, they know themselves on the cold face. They've got a good feel for it out there, and they're saying the right things under the sticks, as it's been 3 times. But we need some more spacing, less numbers in the rucks, because they've obviously got some dangerous attacking players out in their outside backs. And thereafter, if we keep this forward, this scrum dominance and the maul dominance, we can eke ourselves back into the game. It's not unfathomable, given the last 2 results we've had against Exeter and against Bath.
Strong wind at your back. Where do you need to be at the break?
Yeah, obviously we'd like to get another score, I think, and be within touching distance, and thereafter it's going to be a scrap in that second half. And like I say, we'll use a bit of the forward dominance to see if we can get back into our game, back into this game. But it's scrums like that we need to obviously sort out to make sure we get back into the game.
Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you, cheers.
So good to know that the players are working out this problem for themselves and have recognised their shortcomings. As you said, when you're behind under the post 3 separate occasions in the opening 10 minutes, you've got a bit of time to work it out.
Yeah, they certainly have. They got 10 points on the board, and they found the weakness that Wasps have had all season, their driving ball. It's obviously going to be an area that they keep concentrating on and driving the nail into, but Wasps get the chance to attack. They look dangerous every time they got ball in hand.
McIntyre steering things, Robson looking for it and breaking away and bringing in Piutau. Siali Piutau, a useful addition he might prove to be in the absence, of course, of the likes of Alapati Leua and Ben Jacobs, injured for the time being. And Thomas Young having a bruising game as well. Johnson continuing the motion. They're within 3 metres. Robson digging. And again, charging onto the ball at great pace. And the try has been awarded. Nathan Hughes taking no prisoners. And the bonus point in the bag inside the half-hour mark. Look at the pace that he hits this ball at. The initial bust from Thomas Young. Johnson carries it onwards. And then the line and the power. Quality.
Absolutely quality there. Hughes just times his line so well too. He's such a big, powerful man. He's 20 stone. His leg drive through the contact there. Great score. We spoke before the show about how Wasps have got the ability to go round teams and through them. And there it was a great way of mixing up their attack. They've gone round the Saracens defence once or twice. Now they look to go through. Pick and go, short line. Really good attacking game from Wasps.
Well, that is the fastest bonus point of the Premiership season. And Nathan Hughes from that range, very, very tough to stop, although the conversion has been missed. 24 points to 10, and the other statistic that's relevant at this point is that is the first try bonus point conceded by Saracens as they replace Richard Barrington with Rhys Gill in 18 months.
It's incredible, isn't it? Best defence in the league, suddenly been opened up by people attacking, playing ambitious running rugby. Into the wind.
Into the wind. Yes. It needs repeating.
Not now, you've lost your bind.
Not just a gentle breeze either, it is a very significant factor.
What's so impressive about Nathan Hughes is his ability to take the ball, but take it on a really flat line. There he is, he's highlighted, but watch how flat he takes it. Most people can take a pass when they've got 2 or 3 yards to react, but he takes this right, almost parallel to the try line. That's a skill in itself. Yes, he's big, yes, he's strong, but they are so difficult to take in traffic. Very impressive.
So, first Premiership try for a year for Nathan Hughes, but they've conceded the penalty here. Wasps.
I think that's harsh on Marley. He was making a play for the ball. Because teams throw the ball down their team's line, you do have to go across to try and get it. There's nothing wrong with that for me.
Played his arm.
By extension, if the referees continue in this manner, then there's almost no point in competing.
Well, they're just going to have to make the hookers throw the ball down the gap, because your lifters have to throw you across the line so you can get a chance at touching the ball, because it's so far across on the other side that as you're landing, you do just happen to hit the opposition. There was Miles just went for a play on the ball there. You could see that his hand does touch the ball. That's a really harsh penalty.
Joe Launchbury, of course, today away with England. No Bradley Davis involved with the Welsh yesterday, so Mile and Cannon on duty for Wasps, and Charlie Hodgson making sure that Saracens remain in touch. How valuable those 3-pointers might prove. Half an hour gone. Wasps with the bonus point already. An 11-point cushion to work with. Looking forward to getting the wind at their back in the second period. Bosch from outside the 22, comfortably outside the 22, straight out.
I wonder if this win was actually an advantage, because Wasps had to run it. Saracens were expecting them to kick like they did last time they played. They kicked a lot of ball back to them. Whether it's because of the win, they had to run everything from the very start. The first 2 restarts they received, they went for and scored off them. Really took Saracens by surprise.
7 full line.
Well, with the line out ball, Gopperth bringing in Piutau. And carried onwards by Nathan Hughes. Nobody home. Nathan Hughes has his second. And Wasps are romping it here at Allianz Park in this first half. Ian Tempest wants another look.
To make sure there's no knock-on by White, please. Checking a potential knock-on by White.
Checking last breakdown.
Did think when I saw that breakdown of the ball, squirted a little bit loose in the ruck, that potentially it did go forward here from Piutau. As he comes to the ground, he's presented it. He's okay here. What's happened now? It's ripped out by Brits. He picks it up. That's a try. Brits comes in, gets his hand on the ball, right hand, pulls it loose. Nathan Hughes picks it up, gets through the middle. It's a great finish. Spencer will be unhappy that he didn't stop him.
Tempo, Trevor, yeah.
On those 2 angles, I'm seeing no clear knock-on.
No, we've just got one more to have a look at, please.
Okay, stand by.
One more angle. Trevor Fisher, our television match official this afternoon.
Yeah, it's definitely the work of Scott Pritz.
Trev.
One more, just one more, please. Tempo, that's all we've got.
Trev, if anything, it's ripped back by 2 black on the floor. I'm awarding the try.
I don't see any problem with that.
Cheers, thank you very
Ian
much.
Tempest in agreement with you, Austin.
Well, I've said it before, they can save a lot of time and eat more biscuits in the truck if they just listen to me, and we can speed it up.
Try number 5 for Wasps.
Let's go, great energy,
There'll be plenty of
let's go.
biscuits whether they listen to you or not.
Yeah, I'll do it for free as well. Well, expenses. What a half from Wasps. Incredible performance.
And Gopeth has given that a hefty clout. 31 points to 13. Going at almost a point a minute, Wasps. At the home of the champions, the home of the Premiership leaders. And Nathan Hughes has a brace.
Di Young will be so happy because everything they will have spoken about in the week, go through the middle, go through the guts, pick and go around the outside with pace, they've done and they've executed well.
Well, that's good value for money, isn't it? 31 points from 5 visits to the 22.
6 black release.
And a penalty to broaden the smile of the big number 8. Had a handful of weeks out with the calf trouble. Back to his rampaging best.
Thanks, Greg.
Silly penalty from Rhodes there. He was just trying to slow the ball down, but just when you want to put the pressure on Wasps, give them a get out of jail free card.
On the line,
they can clear their lines.
Thanks so much.
Yes.
Mile taken out in the air. And the penalty is theirs. It's taken the wind out of him by the looks of things. And that's 2 in quick succession, potentially, from Saracens. Hargreaves, the man competing.
So you could argue there that Nathan Hughes hasn't got hold of him as a lifter. He almost throws him into the air and then he comes down. It's become an area that all second rows, Benny Kay in particular, is getting really aggrieved by the competition at the line out, and it's almost becoming very difficult to get your hands on the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that was just good competition. 2 guys going for the ball in the air. Hargreaves there put his hands up again to show I'm doing my best not to make contact, but the referee set a stall out with the first one. That's 3 line-out contact penalties now that I don't think should have been.
They'll come. Thanks.
Gopeth. Hughes hammering his way into Brad Barrett. Not too many bounce Brad Barrett like that. Johnson. Got such numbers of big carriers, haven't they? And the space is being exploited by the more fleet of foot, the likes of Charles Piutau. Smith. Gopeth shaping to fling it wide and then ducking back infield. Smith again riding the tackle nicely. Ashley Johnson. Berger and Barrett combining. Robson again through the middle of the ruck, finding space there, but the ball in Saracens' hands and now in space thanks to Bosch's boot. Gopeth running out of options. Wade, he'll want to get in on the try-scoring act. 5 tries in half an hour and Wade not on the score sheet.
Use it.
Robson bringing a degree of calm. Bosch, Brits, Ellery, Rhodes on his outside. Daly makes the tackle. Spencer for Jim Hamilton. On runs into Cooper Woolley. Spencer. Brunisa. Brits. Ross combining. Double teaming on the tackle front. Again to the short side, and Ellery running out of room. He's gone forwards.
Knock on, scrum, white ball.
Pietau putting a massive hit on Wiles there.
Knock on first, scrum
Down
wide.
the short side. He was already a little bit dazed, got back to his feet, and then absolutely levelled him. One of the best halves of rugby I think we've seen this season, Ali.
Hard to argue with that. And Nathan Hughes enjoying his afternoon. A couple of tries, but it's these big bashing exchanges that he relishes.
Really excited to see Nathan Hughes play for England in less than a year's time. You imagine a back row with Billy Vunipola and Nathan Hughes in. It's a very, very scary prospect.
As we've mentioned before, he qualifies at the end of June, so not available for the England tour of Australia, but thereafter you'd expect him to slot straight into that squad and muscle it out with Billy Vunipola for the number 8 shirt.
It's almost perfect, isn't it, after such a long season with the World Cup, back-to-back games every weekend. Do you really want to go on tour in June, or do you want to have June off? I think back to 1998, where a strong squad was named, and about 3 of them actually went.
Yeah, it didn't go terribly well, that tour, did it?
It was a really good time. Not on the pitch, though.
The infamous Tour of Hell. 76-0, wasn't it?
I can't remember, Ali. I've erased it from my memory.
I'm sure there are enough numbers on your calculator at the time. Matt Dawson, the captain that day, and
that's where they
England
went wrong, wasn't it, really?
Oh, come now. Well, there's some very good players on that tour who went on to achieve enormous things, Austin.
Well, there was. It was the making, actually, of a number of players. Josh Lucy, first tour for him. You know, some careers were made off the back of it.
In adversity, as the coaches are often telling us.
There's nothing there for me. Don't play the 9!
Apologies for the bad language if you may have picked that up recently. Ashley Johnson on the charge again. Hughes. Robson. Out on the full. Disappointing lead for the Wasps scrum half, and frustration writ large. He knows that when you have Saracens down on the canvas, you've got to keep the punches coming.
Yeah, you do. I think the Saracens coaches are going to be furious at their defence. They don't mind getting beaten out wide. They hate get people going through the ruck and beating them where normally they're very strong. They've got a lot to fix up.
Jim Hamilton gathering it in, and Wasps deciding to stand off the line-out drive. Rhodes.
Advantage, no clear release.
The penalty advantage being played.
Penalty advantage.
Wasps infringing at the breakdown, and now a last push from Saracens as Spencer goes, and it's driven on by Hamilton. Score here would be priceless. Berger driven back hard. Spencer again, Vunisa. Hughes makes the tackle. Wasps really need to be holding out here to take full advantage of the scoreline come the break, and it's gone forwards, but the penalty will be awarded regardless.
It's here. No clear release.
Much to ponder at the break for that little crew.
George Smith just staying in there a little bit too long and gets
burrowing
upended
it like
and
a
lands
little
on his
mole,
head.
isn't he? Having a good old nose.
I know you guys, yeah, that's fine.
3 more for Saracens from the boot of Charlie Hodgson. 3 priceless points as we hit the break. And Wasps have come out here in blistering fashion. 5 tries, and Sarries have conceded half as many in this 40 minutes as the whole of the rest of the Premiership season. Half-time at Allianz Park. Saracens 16, Wasps a whopping 31.
Interesting tactical talk at half-time. If I was Wasps, I'd keep going the way they are. Keep playing with tempo, ball in hand, and just keep taking it to Saracens.
I have a suspicion that that is what they will do, simply because it's in their nature, isn't it? It's the way they've been playing this season. It's the way they feel most comfortable. Their big victories, of course, the likes of Toulon and Leinster have all come about in that fashion because they've been doing those things so well. This penalty goes Saracens' way.
So that's one of the things you don't need to do. You don't need to compete. In fact, you don't even need to go in the rucks. Because even if Saracens win the ball, they kick to the touchline, as they have now, they're still going to be in their own half. So you're going to have decent attacking line-out ball.
On you to move clear the ball.
That's harsh, though. I don't know where he's going to go there.
Numbers. 5.
It was Brits holding it in. His leg wasn't even affecting the ball.
Being pinned, Simon McIntyre. So Hamilton with the line-out ball for Sarri. Spencer charged down by Hughes. And Spencer's not at all sure where that is. Cooper Woolley's onto it. Back it goes. Lovely ball for Wasps to work with on the counter-attack. Not the best of passes, but Daly gathers.
Tackle! Release!
All of this coming about due to the pressure on the kick from Nathan Hughes. Thomas Young sets it up. Robson. Cooper Woolley
Hands on the floor.
needing some help. Robson is there. Smith. Down to the blind side. James Cannon inside the 22. Oliver doing his best to make sure the ref can see him moving.
Tackle move!
Gopeth, Daly, and heading for Tompkins and driving up towards that 22-metre line. Here comes Johnson. Again, hitting the gain line at great speed. Gopeth, Hughes doing similarly. Good defensive work this time from Sarries. Rhodes meeting him there. Gopeth, inside ball for Wade. Berg is there with the big hit. Wade's done well to feed that back. McIntyre, he's been busy today. Gopeth. Still Gopeth, he's wriggled free. This is try number 6. Can you believe it? The champions being unpicked here at home. And Jimmy Gopeth is in for his first of the afternoon. And just to put Wasps absolutely in the box seat at the start of this second half.
Unpicked is a little bit light. They're being squashed, they're being smashed, they're being run over. And it's just by simple rugby, running hard at inside shoulders, gets the fend out. It's a wonderful finish from Gopeth. He's been very physical throughout this whole game. No more than he deserves.
The Wolfpack have taken Valentine's Day off. That was really, really soft defence from Saracens. Just let a little show and go from Gupworth, a handoff. He shouldn't be getting through there right in the middle of the pitch.
And he's added the extras, and Wasps are romping towards a very, very significant win. Gopeth, knowing that he had Hughes outside him and all the attention that he was attracting, time to challenge the line himself, and why not? 38 points to 16. What a turn-up. Already the most points that Sarries have conceded here at Allianz in their 3-year stay. Johnson. Young. penalty.
Off your feet, playing the ball. Off your feet, playing the ball.
It's been a familiar refrain this afternoon from Ian Tempest.
I thought that was Vanessa. He stayed in there, but he put his hands on the floor. It was clearly a ruck. He stayed with his hands on the floor and the ball.
He's in the kicking position.
Let's have another look.
He gets in a good position to begin with, and as you said, he's got his right hand on the ball. He's just in there way too long after the ruck's formed.
Yeah, time's off. 3 Saracens and 9 Saracens, please. 3 and 9. You're off your feet and there's a ruck.
So some changes about to be made here. Will Fraser and Richard Wigglesworth
3, 9 and 8.
are about to make an appearance.
3.
And Vanessa's coming off. Ben Spencer is obviously coming off at scrum half as well. And we've got a change in the front row with Lamasiteli coming on for Petrus du Plessis. So 3 changes very early in this second period. And Wasps giving themselves a little bit of breathing space. They need to change something. Sarries off colour today. Comfortably the second best side so far.
Maul. 1-9 backwards. Still moving.
Constitutes good headway. There's the gain line in yellow from where they started. And Kernan Mile continuing the motion, making sure they are getting full value for their hard work and commitment here. Good tackle coming in from Brits. Barrett alongside him. Robson trying to dart through the middle where he's found quite a bit of joy this afternoon.
Tackle!
Piutau. Charles Piutau. Middle of the park, 30 metres out. Gopeth. Young. He's had a good day. On the score sheet, of course, but particularly well occupied in the loose. Johnson manhandled backwards, but still they come forwards. Lovely offload from Smith. And Piutau might have got a knee to the face into the bargain. Onto the floor goes the ball, but the penalty is Wasps.
Yeah, it was Hargreaves going in from the wrong side, wasn't it? It was deliberate. Potentially a yellow card, this, because it is a professional foul. Oh, it is.
Yellow for Hargreaves, yellow for the Saracens captain, as if the day couldn't get any worse.
You sort of get caught in two minds here, because you think he might offload from the floor, but then you end up just diving in and kneeing him in the face, so I suppose you've got no complaints, really.
You can see what he's thinking. He's thinking, stop the offload, don't let him get the ball away, but, you know, the brain and the feet are a very long way away for Alistair Hargreaves, and he ends up kneeing him in the face.
Strictly speaking, there's no ruck form there because there's no other Wasp player over the ball. So it's still a tackle situation. There's no offside line. He's entitled to go in that way. It's just maybe you've got to be a little bit more discreet in how you do it.
Well, it's going to be a tough 10 minutes for Alistair Hargreaves. They could well do with their skipper being out there on the field, leading some sort of revival. Instead, they're a man down, and Gopeth lining up another 3.
It didn't look like Wasps were going anywhere for a little while. He got a little bit static, a little bit slow, and then Jimmy Cupforth just, you know, not a lot of options on, just hits Charles Piutau coming back on a switch. He's so powerful and quick, he's got great feet. He ends up making yards to get Wasps on the front foot again. You know, such a luxury for Jimmy Cupforth to have so many good, powerful runners outside him.
Short little stab from Jimmy Gopeth, takes his personal tally to 15, and Wasps into the 40s with 32 minutes of the match remaining. This is a rare, chastening day for the Saracens coaching staff. McCall Sanderson, Sorrell and Peel. 5 major finals in 5 years, and perhaps it is just a little bit too much to ask for this side to keep churning out the excellence every single week. There has to be a drop at some point. And when you meet a side like Wasps in form, up for the fight, keen to make a statement, if those two things collide, as they seem to be today, it could get messy. This is Brits. Kernan Mile making sure that his statement is made.
Brilliant hit from Mile there. Brits is such a tough guy to tackle because of his footwork. You're never quite sure. You don't want to look silly getting stepped by him. So to get a full shoulder shot like he did there with leg drive afterwards, superb defence.
Well, they're bristling with aggression today, aren't they, Wasps? They really are. They've been carrying the fight to Saracens all day. Noticeable as well, when Harlequins got the better of Saracens, they adopted a very similar approach. And I think we all assume on the outside looking in, Nick, that every game you're fired up, you're full of physicality and making those first impacts count. But it seems really noticeable that when Saracens have been flustered and harried, they haven't been quite their usual composed selves.
Yeah, Saracens have played such good rugby this year. You know, their home record has been outstanding. They've won, what was it, 16 out of 17 games until now. And you know you've got to be at the absolute top of your game. You have to take it to them. You've got to be as physical as you can be as a team just to get close to this Saracens team. And Wasps have just been superb today.
Thomas Young coming off for a head injury assessment, replaced by Alex Reeder. Don't forget, Rugby Tonight, tomorrow from 8 o'clock. Some of the best highlights, of course, from the Six Nations there, and it's a French special with Olivier Azam, our special guest. Long-time servant of the Premiership, of course. And Johnson has made good ground, as you can see from the gain line. Piutau. The advantage.
Collapse. It's on the 15.
Jim Hamilton singled out for dragging them all down.
Cheers.
Gopeth using the wind, taking play up towards the 22.
The Wasps are just playing at their own pace. In the first half they were running to line-outs, they were going quickly. Now Gopeth takes his time, puts it in the corner, and they just walk there. Wasp pack are just walking there, slowing things down, doing it their way.
Robson, Gopeth, Hughes, more pace and power from Siale Piutau. And again, hitting that game line on the run. Lovely inside ball for Piutau, charging through the gap. 7 tries to their name this afternoon, Wasps. You sense they've got 10 in their sights. Charles Piutau this time around, and tempers beginning to flare.
Away we go. Excuse me, take the team away. Thank you, Elliot. Just about.
Ian Tempest
John,
calling on Trevor Fisher.
John, time off, please.
To see whether there may
Trevor,
or
can you
may
hear
not
me?
have been a question of a forward pass.
Multiple players involved. I want to check there's no foul play after the try's been scored, please, Trev.
OK,
Jimmy,
check for
hold the
foul
kick,
play after the try's been scored. Leave it with us.
No. Brad, we're looking for foul play after the try's been scored. Brad, I'm looking for foul play after the try's been scored. We don't do captain appeal.
Well, the forward pass is not an issue, apparently. Apologies for that misinformation. We have an inspection of the little scuffle that broke out after the try had been scored to see whether Jacques Berger just pushing Kernan Mile over, and then Ellery and McIntyre getting involved with each other.
There's nothing in that, is it?
Trev, it's before
The
that.
handbags.
Want me to go
But
take a can?
all started
Just
from
have a
Ashley
little look at
Simpson
this
coming
one,
round the corner, didn't
please.
it? Really good line around the corner. although he got hit almost instantly, recycled the ball, which created a short side space.
Looking on the left-hand side for action on by 7 black, but then afterwards look for 14 black on 1 white. 14 black on 1 white around the neck.
So 14's gone in.
That's Mike Ellery. That's actually not dissimilar from the Chris Ashton
around 1
incident,
white neck.
Yeah, okay, so obviously tries being scored. Quite clearly there's a bit of pushing by both teams. Are we saying that around the neck by 14 is worthy of a penalty restart against him?
I would imagine, yes, I would say worthy of a penalty on restart.
I can see that as well. Let me explain this to the captain though. Brad?
Barrett being called over.
We've got a bit of nothing after the try's been scored in terms of both players. As it's settling down, 14 has come in and clearly playing a player around the neck. Okay, for that, it's a penalty restart after the try is scored.
Is he not just reacting to his player being taken off the ball?
It's a bit of... No, we're not. No, we're not. Try stand. And it'll be a penalty restart against Black.
So Ellery penalised.
It'll be a penalty restart. 14 Black playing the neck clearly after the try scored.
After the conversion, which will be drilled through the middle by Gopperth, Wasps will have a penalty.
Yeah.
Charles Piutau, a happy man on Valentine's Day.
Black 13. Just wait.
Just picked a beautiful line.
Yeah, it's a great line. And George Smith again just stepping up as that second playmaker. Great hands, great vision from him.
Post called.
He's added so much, hasn't he, Charles Piutau? It'll be sad to lose him at the end of the season as he heads to Ulster. In the meantime, Gopperth is taking this on from halfway to notch the half-century.
I thought they might have kept Elliot Daly on just for this kick before they subbed him off. Jimmy Gopperth very confident at the top of his game, he's going to have a stab.
It's big, it's really big. 50 up at Allianz Park. Dai Young unmoved on the outside, surely leaping for joy on the inside. Big smiles from Jimmy Gopperth. That is a scoreline nobody would have predicted ahead of today. Absolutely nobody. Real statement from this club today. Bang in the mix. Daly crosses the 22. Kernan Mile. And the penalty of Saracens. Just a little bit too long over the ball without releasing.
Saracens need to keep their cool because they've been embarrassed so far this afternoon, but they could make matters worse by somebody doing something silly off the ball, getting involved, ending up with a week ban or a 2-week ban. Just take it on the chin. These things happen. Move on. Start again from next week. Last thing you want is somebody get involved in something. And it's just starting to tinker in that way.
6 man.
Rhodes wins the line-out ball. They need something to give them a fillip at this stage. Rhodes again. 5 metres short. Berger carries it onwards. Bearing down on the try line now.
Behind the line! Behind the line! Advantage, offside, 1 and 3.
Advantage being played, offside. Wasps offside. Saracens will want full value for this. No way through the middle, seemingly. Wigglesworth searching for it.
Offside 1.
Ian Tempest loses his patience. Taken quickly by Wigglesworth. Swallowed up in the tackle. Is that a boot on it? Looked like it went forwards in the meantime. Namasiteli is close. Terrific defensive work, but the ball has been smuggled over the line for the try.
It's 1 movement.
Finally, they've got there. Bunisa with 1 in the first half, and now their second. something to breathe life into their campaign. What do we think about that little nibble?
Good pick and go game. You're allowed to play the ball with your foot in the ruck. Reece Gill stays low, tries his leg drive. Good offload on the go. Lamastatelli just stays on his feet, attracts a couple of players in, gives Jim Hamilton a bit of space. He's got a lot of work to do there, though, as he wriggles it over the line.
And Hodgson with 2 more. So still 25 minutes left to play. 74 points we've seen here this afternoon. And Jim Hamilton has a try.
I can't do player appeal. If I see something on the screen, obviously I can take action.
All you have to do is just turn around and have a look.
I can't afford them running to me though, to ask me.
Rhodes, tackled by Putau. Sarri's trying to raise the intensity here. You can just see that little bit of extra aggression around the ruck. Wigglesworth, the master controller. Nathan Hughes, 2 tries today, and intent on more, seemingly. Gorpeth, Christian Wade. Lovely hands from Smith again. Cooper Woolley couldn't cling on to it. Advantage being played and nothing coming of it. But the handling of George Smith, we're so often talking about his jackling work at the breakdown, Nick, but he has a lovely pair of soft hands.
Yeah, the quick hands there were brilliant, just to get the ball away. There's a lot of pressure on him. He just slows his foot speed down to give him the time to ship the ball on.
Austin.
Well, it's all hard work from all the experienced forwards of Wasps, but look how far Ashley Simpson runs. He's highlighted there. He's already 10 yards. Johnson, sorry. Ashley Johnson, it's different, Ashley. Goes all the way around the corner. But it's that creates the try. Because he holds in 3 or 4 defenders on the left side, it means they get short on the right-hand side. Charlie Hodgson has to fill in, steps out, and that ball back inside to Putau. It's all from hard work from their experienced guys. Ashley Simpson, it's great in that reality TV show, but he's had a fantastic game. Those guys have really fronted up, and when you've got the firepower behind the scrum, McIntyre as well, another guy that's carried well. It's going to be normally you look forward to picking man of the match, but today it's so hard with that Wasps team.
Yeah, there's a few candidates, that's for sure. So time to remind you as we see Matt Mullen coming on for Simon McIntyre of the rugby we have on offer for you next weekend on BT Sport. Friday night we're at the Stoop. Harlequins against Leicester. Currently 4th against 5th, that's most likely to change. And then Bath against Wasps on Saturday from the Rec.
Time on, knock on White.
Wasps looking to back up this terrific performance today. And then London Irish currently occupying bottom spot.
Thank you.
Against Exeter next Sunday from 2 o'clock. Big challenge for your boys, Nick Kennedy.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. Big week's training for the guys, and I'm sure they'll be looking forward to challenging one of the best teams around.
Well dodged.
Exeter slipping up at the AJ Bell this weekend.
Use it!
Beaten by Sarries, of course, the week before that as well. Hodgson, Barrett. Hard running up to halfway. Wigglesworth. Much more intent to Saracens from here. They are determined to finish strongly. Still 20-odd minutes to play. Vanessa. Football for Hodgson. Bosch wrapped up in the tackle by Robson and Putau. Rhodes has carried hard today. Hodgson searching for the holes. And Ransom is there. Into the field off the bench. Reece Gill. Heading for the Cardiff Blues next season. Ellery. riding the tackle nicely inside the 22. Wigglesworth, Hodgson, Ritz, Barrett. Bumping hit coming in from George Smith. This is much more like Saracens until there. The knock-on from Rhys Gill, or has it been allowed to continue? Ian Tempest happy that went backwards.
Use it!
Unfortunate. Still they come. 13th phase of possession. Just building all the time at the moment. Rhodes. Wigglesworth. Wiles on the carry. Wash. Running into trouble in the form of Daly. Stopped on the 22. The Wasps defensive line very strong, very quick, but the inside ball, Ellery has surely spilt that one forwards. And the ruling from the referee.
Pretty good discipline from Wasps, just letting them have the ball at the breakdown, keeping 14 men on their feet. It was just a white wall. Johnson does well, just hit the ball as he makes the tackle on Ellery to force an error.
Help yourself.
Just 3 of the Wasps' tackles missed. Excellent statistic. Thomas Young and Ashley Johnson have really played their part this afternoon.
Yeah, Johnson's had a big game. Coming into it, he had an 88% line-out, and I think he's probably improved that today, which is so impressive for a guy who's only just recently converted to the hooker role.
100% today, 10 from 10. Really good performance around the field as well.
So there's Alex Reader on in the back row for Wasps. Haskell away, of course, at the moment. A fine game against Newcastle. Very good against Saints, if I remember rightly as well. Jake Cooper-Woolley receiving a little bit of treatment. It's one area that Wasps will be strengthening for next season. Marty Moore coming over from Ireland on the tight head. So let's have a quick word with Dai Young. Dai, you've got 20 minutes left to play. You've notched a half-century of points at the home of the champions. You must be pretty chuffed, but do you feel like the job's done yet?
Absolutely not. I think, as you said, it's 20 minutes left, but we have to keep playing. We have to be sensible as well. We've got a strong wind behind us. They should determine how we play it. If they're going to drop back, obviously in the backfield, let's take them on. But if they have a full front line, let's put it behind them. But discipline as well. What we don't want to be doing is playing too much rugby inside our own half or defending for long periods inside our own half. So keep playing, but job isn't done. Really pleased where we are at this moment in time, but still a big 20 minutes ahead of us.
So you're looking for a bit of flexibility, basically. You're looking for the players to read the situation in front of them, not necessarily always be looking to punch the ball into the corners given the conditions today.
Absolutely. I think we've done really well with ball in hand, but we've got to make the decision. So all we can do as coaches is give them the tools to do the job. If we're looking at running options or kicking options, they have to decide and make the decisions on the day and in the situation.
In your wildest dreams, could you have dreamt of 7 tries inside the hour mark here today?
Honestly, no.
Dai, just really quickly, it's a difficult decision. There's so many good performances today from the Wasps players. Can you help me pick man of the match?
No, I can't, Ross, to be quite honest with you. There's a lot out there, but you'll do a pretty good job in it, I'm sure, Ross.
Thank you, Dai.
Cheers, mate.
You're on your own, Oz. Brits scampering to the right and then straightening. Cooper-Woolley putting the tackle in. Wills Mort's onto the field, and that is a crunching hit on Rhodes. The defensive work, much as the attacking play has been so impressive and eye-catching, the defensive work of Wasps today similarly huge. Fraser, well met by Reader. And the penalty. All that hard work paying off for the visitors, keeping their discipline, keeping their shape, and Gopeth is taking the opportunity of launching it long where it's Very well taken, it must be said.
Send them on.
Fraser looking a little confused as to the reason for the previous penalty.
Hang on.
It's that man George Smith again, just the speed at which he can get over the ball and his decision making of which breakdowns to go into and which to not. A second to none. He's still one of the best back row players in the world for me.
Charles Piutau is off. Scored a brace.
It's a maul.
Lord Miller on in his place, and Wilson is finding Wade. Lovely pass for Bassett on the outside. Griffith again. Forwards from Festuccia.
First by White.
Pass was meant for Reader there. Festuccia just needed to hold his depth. Give the option of both of them.
Okay, guys, win them all.
A couple of really nice passes from Gopeth, actually. They want to put Bassett away on the outside. It was well timed. He's controlled affairs really well. He's had players running around. He's had options all around the field for him, but he's been physical. He's taken the ball to the line. And moreover, he's allowed the Saracens' defence to almost engulf him, but then pick the right decision.
Crunch!
Really impressive.
Bind!
He's in contention, Ali. It's on the short list.
Yeah, put him in the mix.
It's on the short list of about 15.
Well, we've still got 17 minutes left to play.
Okay. Let me help us
Have a
out.
little
Let's
lucky
get
dip.
touch closer, please, okay?
Yeah, please.
Tom Bowler.
I don't want us pre-engaged, but I don't want us too far.
Maybe we can get Ashley Simpson to draw the player out.
She was a reality TV star, wasn't she,
I think so, yeah.
Ashley Simpson?
Crouch!
Is she busy?
But he was my favourite, but he's gone off with 23 minutes to go, so it's difficult to win it. Only 57 minutes played.
Wigglesworth. Walt, Wiles, Bosch. Miller. Gathering well. Barrett with a crunching tackle. Reader whips it away nicely for Gopeth. Wasps still looking to play until Daly puts boot to ball. Fabulous kick. Real tester for Ransom. Clawed down by Mullen. Bosch. Fraser enveloped. Sarri's being harried here at the breakdown. Wasps have come away with it. They've given up the penalty.
20 on feet.
It's a good counter up by Alex Reader there. He frees up the space to create the initial turnover by Wasps.
Hold on. Okay, please.
Tries to put them back in the business area. More replacements lining up for Wasps.
5 and 3.
Phil Swainston alongside Will Rowlands, who'll be making his Premiership debut.
Send them on, Simon. Okay.
It's Rowlands, who's been on loan at Jersey, won a blue for Oxford in the varsity match a handful of years back. So change at tight head and at second row.
Will Rowlands will increase the average IQ of the tight five there. Having studied economics at Oxford.
A genuine degree.
Time's off.
He's been brought back from loan because of the injury to Gaskell and Davies being away, Launchbury being away on international duty. I've heard lots of good things about him, looking forward to seeing him play.
Okay, lads, what you want?
So James Cannon makes way.
Yes, good. Time on.
Rhodes setting things up for Fraser, who's releasing Brits on the outside. Hamilton. try scorer today. Mort. Gill.
Come off, clearly release. Clearly come off.
That's George Smith who's fallen foul of Ian Tempest that time. .14 minutes remaining. The threes won't do it really from here.
Now they have to go to the corner now, try and end this game strong. Get a little bit of pride back. Make sure the video that they're going to have to watch on Monday is a little bit more enjoyable, give them some positivity going into their next fixture.
Time on, please, Phil. Let's go, John.
Jared Saunders preparing for action, but
Let them down.
for the time being, Scott Brits still occupying that hookless position. And taken by Hughes. Reader carrying it onwards. First loss at the line out for Saracens today. Mile. And again, through the middle goes Hughes, storming his way up the field. Robson is there alongside him. That is a brilliant finish. It's a brilliant try. Bodies left all over the park in Nathan Hughes' wake. And Dan Robson has a second of the day for him, and try number 8 for Wasps.
So sharp from Hughes to spot the gap through the middle of the ruck again. He's had 14 carries today, he's been everywhere. This is so sharp, he sees it, picks it up with one hand, and then the pace to go through. Excellent from Robson there, just on his shoulder, perfectly timed pass. Another top-class score from Wasps this afternoon.
You can't quite see it from that angle, the amount of ground that Robson makes up, because Hughes takes everyone by surprise, including his own team. But Robson comes alongside, he makes up a good 20-25 metres to get to exactly the pinch point where the pass is delivered. Absolutely brilliant try again from Wasps.
Well, there will be plenty who will be looking at that scoreboard, perhaps tuning in a little bit late and wondering if it's for real. It is for real. Wasps have brought their A game today, and Nathan Hughes has been absolutely titanic.
See it there, the amount of ground he makes up, and he finds himself in exactly the right angle to receive a pass, even though there's 3 or 4 Saracens defenders all around. He's had a very, very good game in Simpson's absence.
So this now the most points conceded by Saracens in a home Premiership fixture of any kind.
Advantage over.
A real battering this afternoon, a rare battering. Wasps have accounted for some very big teams this season. We mentioned them earlier: Toulon, Leinster, Exeter. Saracens today. The team still very much growing.
Tackle!
Young reckons they're a long way off capacity. Wigglesworth, kick blocked.
Trev, can you let's have a look at that?
Berger. Barrett driving hard up the middle, looking for that continuity. Wigglesworth taken in by Gill. Tackle from Siale Piutau. Berger. Barrett. Onwards from Ransom to Wiles. Wiles scampering through. Pressure building. Rhys Gill on the trundle. Wigglesworth. And a powerful burst through the middle from Lamositele. It's going to require another look.
Listen to me.
Let's see another angle there, see if he got it down.
Time off. Trevor Fisher, can you hear me?
Ian, tempo got you.
Okay, Trev, what I want to look at is a potential neck roll in the build-up. If there is no neck roll or foul play, next question is try yes or no, please.
OK, looking at possible neck roll first. See what happens from that.
Looking at potential neck roll first, and then I'll look at the grounding.
Yeah, it's well spotted. It is a neck roll. It's 100% a neck roll. So let's go back to the penalty. It wasn't a try anyway. Miller got underneath the ball.
It's got another angle for you,
down.
Temple.
I don't think you need to see another one. That's definitely. He's got his neck on right around the neck. Twists and rolls.
A touch in that angle. I joined it late.
Look at the actions of 22, Black. He's round the neck at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mort just overran the clean slightly. He needed to be a half a yard back. He could have got lower and cleaned him out with his shoulders.
That's the best angle we've got of the neck roll.
He's in a disadvantaged position, so he has to try and roll him out.
Neck roll?
That's the only one that we spotted.
OK, fine. It's clearly around the neck anyway. So he's played the play around the neck. I'm going back. It's penalty against him, OK?
Yeah, that's fine.
We won't look at the ground. It's around the neck. Neck roll, clear out. It's a penalty against Black. Neck roll, clear out.
Niels Mort.
Played him around the neck.
And the try will clearly be chalked off.
Neck roll.
A week of trying to rebuild at Sarries ahead of their next game against Gloucester. Sail away following Northampton here at Allianz. Here's another look at the Mort incident.
Yeah, on the line, please. On the line. How many? 6? 7.
Too much game time for Niels Mort these days. Hodgson and Farrell
on the line, Black!
hogging that number 10 shirt. And of course, Alex Nazowski to come here from Wasps next season. On the bench today for the visitors. See Ali Piatau slotted in seamlessly really in the midfield for Wasps today. And that had a suspicion of the forward pass about it to Wade.
OK, it's knock on into touch, what do you want? Scrum or line, please. Knock on into touch.
Sarri's taking a while to come to a decision.
Knock on.
Sarri still seem a bit shell-shocked, looking around who's the captain, who's making the decisions, just walking to the scrum.
There's the skipper in the absence of Alistair Hargreaves.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
8 on the bounce in the Premiership against Wasps. There was an LV Cup meeting, I think, in amongst there as well. So 9 meetings in a row have gone Saracens' way. Looks like Wasps will have their revenge this afternoon.
OK. Knees back, my side. Open.
Almost 4.5 years since they managed it last. Young can be well pleased with their work. Saracens the yardstick for everybody to measure themselves by. Smith, Piatau, Daly, Miller, touchline.
Not quite on the same page as Wade there, as Wade was coming in for a switch. Miller wanted him out wide.
I think Miller had done the right thing. He got to the last man, which meant there was still space down that channel. Wade decided to go early and try and get back onto the inside, keep the ball alive.
How many, please? 6.
More than 6 minutes remaining. Barrett trying to create something here for Wiles, who crosses halfway. Saunders onto the field at hooker. Ransom goes to ground.
Move!
Barrett. And Hughes with the tackle. Wigglesworth. Tempest whistle.
You can tell Saracens are rattled. They've just gone off programme with one-off runners. You're going to get isolated. One guy trying to solve things by himself, just running as hard as he can, which is great, but he needs to do it within the Saracen structure, or they're not used to it.
They're going to have a go at the posts.
Well, it's when you get a nice piece of beef, to really get it nice and tender, you've got to rub salt into it, and that's exactly what they're doing now. He kicks this from high on 60 metres. What is it? 57 metres. That's proper rubbing salt in the wound.
I don't think distance is going to be an issue here, because we know the weight of kick that Elliot Daly carries, and when you factor in the wind behind him, it's all going to be about the accuracy, I would suspect. And he's now 1 from 56 this season, so this would be just a tiny bit longer. That is salt in the wound, right there from Elliot Daly. Wasps through the 60 barrier. Broad smiles all round. And less than 5 minutes left to play. Huge kick from Elliot Daly. Well, if today has been about making statements, as Sarri's put it out on the full, what a rarity that is. This is the most points that Wasps have scored in a Premiership away game. It's the third most points conceded by Saracens in a Premiership match. So records being set left, right and centre. And 8 tries to their name. Worth reiterating again today, I think, the most astonishing thing. Up until this point, 11 rounds of Premiership action, Saracens conceded 10 tries. Today, 8.
It's unbelievable, yeah. The Wasps guys are going to be pinching themselves, but they thoroughly deserve it. It hasn't been by luck. It's just been by outstanding play, by them varying their attack, playing at their tempo, really taking the game to Wasps from minute 1. They have been absolutely superb.
And they're not done yet. Nathan Hughes making this count from halfway as well. And what's going to be the decision from here? Austin, you're man of the match time. You've had plenty of time to ponder it.
Well, there's been so many great performances. McIntyre, Johnson, the Piatow brothers, Goppert, Robson, all absolutely fantastic. I have to give a special commendation to Nathan Hughes. 2 tries, over 100 metres carrying, but he's still not the man of the match. Our Aviva Premiership man of the match goes to that man, George Smith. An incredible performance. 10 carries, 17 tackles, 3 offloads. I think you said it, Nick. He's world class. Even at 35, he's absolutely world class, and he showed it yet again today.
So another long-range effort. This time, Alex Lazowski, soon to be wearing a Saracens shirt. I'm not sure they're going to like him that much. Aren't you supposed to endear yourself to your new employers? That's not helping. Newly onto the field, 3 more points from long range, 64-23. What a scoreline. It really is extraordinary when you consider the dominance that Saracens have had all season. Alex Reeder enjoying himself now, not held, goes again. Lazowski, Piatow, Daly. Wasps having the run of things here today at Allianz. Just a magnificent display. Wade, Daly, and into touch. I wonder what sort of fallout there'll be from Saracens over this, Austin. Do you think it'll prompt a big dissection, or is it just one of those games where everything goes wrong for you and the opposition are playing out of their skins?
I think it's just one of those things. There's no point overreacting to a game like this. They've been absolutely magnificent all season. It's been a long season to this point. And like you said, when you're 19 points down with the wind at your back after whatever 8 minutes it was, you're going to struggle. and Wasps have had a spring in their step. What it does do, though, is it sets the tone for the rest of the season. Wasps move into the top 4, and they now become a side that nobody wants to play, because on their day, as they've shown, they can beat anyone.
No doubt about it. Confidence flowing through every vein. Lazowski flinging wide passes now. Miller scampering up to the 10-metre line. And the visitors looking for a final flourish. Bassett taking on the defence. Daly. Another good burst from the new man, Rowlands. Up to the 22. Piutau. Keeps it alive nicely. Mile carries it onwards. Last few seconds. Is there one more try in it for Wasps? Alex Reader goes to ground. Little dab through, and it's blocked. And Saracens have it. And Jim Hamilton and Saracens will draw things to a close. What a match. What a result for Wasps. They have torn up the script. They have torn up the Saracens' defence. And they have blitzed their way into the top 4 this evening. 8 tries to their name, and they jump from 8th to 4th, ahead of Harlequins. First time in 3 seasons they've won 4 in a row, but they have humbled the champions at their own house.
Absolutely, and every other side in the league now saw Saracens right at the top, right at the pinnacle, almost unbeatable, you could argue, so far this season. But now Wasps have shown the way. They've given everyone a blueprint of how to play against Saracens. They will bounce back. They will go back to how they used to play with that Wolfpack intensity. But Wasps now are the side with a real spring in their step. And it makes it wide open. It's no longer just Saracens and Exeter. Saracens, Exeter, Wasps, Tigers. This Aviva Premiership is really coming alive.
Bubbling nicely, isn't it? Just the second defeat of the season for Saracens, who, as Austin says, surely will recover. They've been so magnificent for this campaign, but Wasps today making their move, and making their move in fine style.